We don't want to fight. We don't want to argue. All right, we'll try to do that for an hour. I don't think it's going to work too well.
Yes, we are 3 adult males with a group text about 13 reasons why.
I'm a sweaty, chubby guy.
It's time for Cofield and Company with Steve Cofield on ESPN Las Vegas.
Nice, cool studio right now. It's a little bit steamy out, but I am chubby. Not as sweaty as normal. Ari's here. It's Cofield. Adam Hill is the company. We're going to get into the Lakers with the Lakers Insider later in the hour and find out who's going to replace Avery Bradley. Why is he out? Maybe we'll find out the two Lakers back in March 19th. We were told the two Lakers had coronavirus. Maybe was Bradley one of them? A lot of questions to be asked. We need some answers.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers presents the Big Five at 5. Number 5.
The same situation existed this morning. An exciting time on the Bischoff Show, or as Jared likes to hear it called, technically correct, with Jared. Should I just call it the Bischoff and Jared Show?
No, it's the Jared Show.
It is the Jared Show. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and Bischoff's there, I guess.
You're picking sides here.
Yeah.
Brett Lashbrook, who runs the Lights FC, the soccer team that plays downtown. I mean, weird week last week. Eric Ronaldo, very popular guy. We had a little he said. They were both on with Bischoff last week. He loves soccer. And Lashbrook was on
drama too.
Lashbrook was on for 20, 25 minutes and talked about why this is still a good job, why the Lights are a cool situation for the next coach.
I have never, ever, as I said before, gotten involved in soccer operations. I have never, ever gotten involved in saying, how much are you paying a player, who's starting, how are you signing him, the scouting, et cetera, et cetera. And that's been made clear in all conversations with potential new coaches this week. Once we figure out the soccer side, once we figure out and we can win, and you put that in with the other aspects of the club, we have the ability to do something really, really special. And I maintain that 100%. We have to get the soccer side right.
Okay. There are a lot of guarantees, and I'm telling you, this is the case. But he said at the beginning, no interference in soccer on the field. You're smirking, you're hesitating, you've got something to say.
Well, just it doesn't add up. I mean, he didn't mention the one specific thing there. He's saying I'm not telling him who to start. I'm not telling him how much to pay. Those things could be true, but the accusation that was leveled was not about any of those things. It was that, after winning a game 1-0, Eric Ronaldo was chewed out about not being more exciting, not having a more exciting brand, not having 5-4 wins instead of 1-0 wins. And the reason that story resonated and added up is because every time we've ever had Brett Lashbrook in here, or every time I've ever talked to him out at the stadium, because I love going listen, full disclosure, I love going to Lights games. I'm a fan. It's the one team I don't cover, so it's the one team I can actually go and cheer for. Like, that's cool. I like that. I like downtown. I like everything about it. But he absolutely has said time and time again, they're not going to be a team that wins 1-0. They're going to be a team that wins 5-4 or 6-5. Or plays high-scoring games. Like that's been the message since the beginning. So that accusation from Eric when all that added up, and there really wasn't that wasn't addressed in that statement there.
Full interview, lvsportsnetwork.com. Look for Technically Correct on the page. That's the Tyler Bischoff Show with Jared.
Number 4.
Newsgate Sunday into Monday. There was a noose found at Talladega Tuesday. As Will Kane said earlier at the close of his show, hey, it's time for people who thought it was a noose to admit defeat. He actually used those terms, admit defeat. And yesterday the FBI comes out and says no hate crime. Bubba Wallace goes on CNN. He doesn't back off the noose claim. And now there's an active debate. And this is like Adam's red meat. You can spend all night debating rope tying. I'm not doing it, but we need more details on this. This is a story that is not over yet. Something happened. Why was that rope there? It's a weird looking rope. It doesn't appear to be a garage pole. Here's Bubba Wallace last night.
It was a noose. It was a noose that was whether tied in 2019 or whatever. It was a noose. So it wasn't directed at me, but somebody tied a noose. That's what I am saying. Mm-hmm. It is a noose.
I mean, you said this is debate. No debate.
It's going down right now.
No, but there's no debate. If you were arguing this, you didn't see the photo. The photo is a noose. That is not up for debate. Again, we can debate all the other aspects of this. Why is it there? What are people doing? Why was it there in 2019? Why didn't anybody notice it, I guess, would be one of the questions. All these other things. This was a noose hanging in the garage of this driver. That is just a fact.
Never seen anything like it. It's not something I talked to my crew chief about. I said, is this something like I wanted to make sure we weren't jumping the gun. And I said, this isn't a knot. This isn't just a regular old whatchamacallit. He's like, Bubba, this isn't something that can be done within a second of just tying a knot and being on the way. This is something that took time.
Man, a lot of angry reaction. Lots. I mentioned it being red meat for you. Man, I went down the OAN rabbit hole last night. Woo! They are into this. Mike Hill, Fox Sports guy, he was mad last night. He said, I don't give one F what the FBI concluded. That man had a noose in his garage. That ain't no damn garage pulley. The only hoax are the people that want to convince us of their racist BS. He went even further and degraded the FBI. He said, this is one of the Fox Sports 1 guys. I think he's still with them. Just remember, the FBI building is still named after a racist. The FBI infiltrated black movements, and I'm sure they still do today. So don't think this law enforcement, racial problem we're having is just a local authority thing. Hashtag Bubba Wallace.
Oh, my old nemesis gets one right finally.
Real DL Hughley said, are you blanking kidding me? So the acceptable answer to this is, that noose? Well, that was an old noose? My bad. He says, man, come on. Still unacceptable. He's like, why is there a noose just laying around, period?
Yes, that is my point. No matter what you want to say about it, again, it is a noose. Now, why was it there? All those other things are still questions. But again, why is there a noose hanging from a garage?
Now, go read the story by Ryan McGee on ESPN.com. Part of the story, he said, one NASCAR official, this morning, one NASCAR official told... story was posted this morning, but told ESPN.com on Tuesday night, quote, there are a lot of ways to tie a rope. This unquestionably was a noose.
Yes.
So, and NASCAR is actually still investigating. So I think yesterday kind of felt like, hey, it's all over. Done and buried. It's finished, but NASCAR is still looking into this. Next up.
Number 3.
I thought Antonio Brown was done and finished.
Never. That will never happen.
Is there a team with such a need for Antonio Brown that they can deal with potential drama? It's a given there's going to be drama.
Of course.
Seahawks and Ravens. Are they seriously kicking the tires on AB?
Well, that's the ones we know so far. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's even more teams that are talking about it or discussing it. But for right now, we know that the Seahawks and the Ravens have had internal discussions about signing Antonio Brown. That's according to Mike Silver of NFL Media. Both teams have previously been discussed as potential landing spots for Antonio, who hinted earlier this month he's planning to find a team soon. I know he made a tweet today that said back to work. Actually, I'm not sure if it was a tweet or an Instagram post, but he's ready to get back in the league. Now, the problem with this, he does still face league discipline. Whenever he gets signed, there's a very good chance that he will be subject to a suspension of some time. So, you know what you're getting into if you sign Antonio Brown. I think you would be making the risk that time away has helped him, find some clarity on some things. But there's definitely a risk there. The Raiders found that out last year. He completely derailed their training camp, or they let him completely derail their training camp. And then the Patriots had him for a week, and he played really well and then was gone. So does he have the talent? Of course he does. But it's not necessarily all just about talent with Antonio Brown.
Let's say you had a team, because you can't have a team in the NFL because you cover the Raiders. But let's say your team was headed up by Tyrod Taylor. Would you want the Chargers to bring in AB?
With a great leader like that, I'd be pretty comfortable. Yeah.
That is more red meat than you debating ropes. That's a red meat I can throw at Adam Hill almost every day, and he's going to get crazy.
Believe me, each of the last 2 days, I so wanted to put. I don't know if you guys have seen the shape that Tyrod came into as he got to Southern California. I mean, my goodness.
He's eating clean.
My goodness.
I wish I could do it.
He's jacked.
He's a vegan chef.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's ready to go.
Great. I thought you would go down this path. Aside from your love of Tyrod Taylor, yesterday we got into some convoluted, weird debate about who can win and who can. You have to judge, what risk you need to take and who you need to pay. Are the Chargers in a, hey, we can win? Because anyone who takes on AB, it shouldn't be a team that is likely to win 6, 7, or 8 games. It should be a team that has real playoff hopes, like a chance to freaking win the AFC.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for the Chargers.
You think the Chargers are that close?
Yeah, I think so. I think they certainly could be. I think they have the pieces in place as long as they don't do something stupid and start Justin Herbert. I think that they could be a contender, and that could be a piece. I mean, they do have a need for another playmaking wide receiver, especially with their star wide receiver being somebody that has been injured somewhat frequently. So, I would think that that's a guy that could be a difference maker on a team that could win.
Number 2.
Headline: Tom Brady is slinging creamsicle merch. He's got his own line of TB12 stuff with the Buccaneers colors.
Yeah.
This question is going to be awesome to watch as it unfolds. We try to get the answer. Was it Tom or was it Bill? Was it Brady or was it Belichick? Can Belichick do it without Tom, and vice versa? I am down. I said months ago that I am certainly rooting for the Bucs to do well and screw the Patriots. I don't know, man. Tom Brady is weird.
Super
Like
weird.
I'm seeing, we've seen more and more squirrely situations. Like just following the basic rules that the NFL has laid down. Like, try not to get an edge, guys. Try to be safe. And Brady just can't follow these few NFL rules, which then starts, gets you to think a couple of things. I think Belichick is a guy who does cut corners and wants to get that edge. So does Brady. Clearly, Brady didn't need Belichick to be so competitive that he's willing to cheat. They were perfect partners. Brady, again, got dinged. You got a couple of positive tests with the Buccaneers. The NFL saying, don't do the private workouts. Brady keeps doing it. Getting slap on the wrist. Slaps on the wrist. You weren't supposed to meet with coaches. He's getting the playbook early.
He had to go get the playbook.
Every edge he can get. So I don't know. I don't know where I am at this point. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to root against both.
I learned it from watching you. The old PSA.
Who's yelling at? Belichick to Brady?
I think Brady to Belichick.
Belichick could be like, look at me with the Browns. I wasn't any good. I only learned how to get an edge and cheat when Tom came along.
I feel like
I got a Michigan man. Now I know how to cheat.
Well, wasn't he probably was cheating in Cleveland too. He just wasn't good enough for anybody to look into it.
Yeah.
Like they weren't, and actually they were okay. I think that was one of the things I learned from the from the Bills documentary. When you watch it back, I was like, he actually wasn't that bad.
Maybe a little more patience in Cleveland. You had time, Brownies.
Yeah, exactly. So he was actually okay there. They gave up on him. So I think that Belichick absolutely is a guy that tries to cut every corner and absolutely cheats. Not even just bending the rules. He breaks the rules. He cheats. Brady learned from him, and he's absolutely doing it. You can't go meet coaches. You got to stay away. I'm going to go get a playbook. Go in the wrong house. Whatever. I'm also going to somehow sell merchandise that absolutely is the Bucs, even though it's a creamsicle colored shirt that just says TB squared, like TBTB. Like, okay, that's not Bucs merch. Like, you're just selling it, which, if you're trying to screw over the league, fine. That's great. I like that. But clearly shouldn't be selling that, and he is. And then now we're going to have workouts, even though you're not supposed to. And by the way, put your season potentially in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Like the whole like right now, the league, the reason they're doing this, if you don't know, like part of it is, yes, competitive edges. They don't want teams that, can practice to get more of an advantage over teams that can't, whatever. But a lot of it is, dude, we've got to cut down on these tests. We want to have a season. We can have players testing positive all over the place.
He can't stop.
So knock it off.
He's so competitive. You're right. If he doesn't knock it off, he puts the whole league in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Like if there's an outbreak of 15 players because they're working out privately, and Brady's one of them because he won't listen. But he's so freaking competitive. This is a topic for another day. And yeah, you know what? We are comfortable enough to have this conversation on this show. The other one is, what is he putting in his body that is legal to make him look younger? every year. That's the other thing. I had a whole rant, yesterday. It was bizarre, weird, because I'm weird, but I was talking about some show I liked because they had like plain looking people playing the lead roles. I see Tom Brady in like these modeling photos, and I'm like, what is happening? He looks better and younger than when he was freaking 28. What is he taking? I want some.
Settle down. I think it's the avocado.
He's a beautiful man, and I don't get it.
It's the avocado ice cream. He's
It's
talking
no
about
strawberries? I don't eat strawberries.
Well, if you do you take the root out of them, though?
Is it the 11 beers I'm drinking each night?
Could be.
Followed up by a fourth meal, which is generally pasta or soup at 1:30 in the morning. Is that what Brady doesn't do?
Or your Jack in the Box, whatever you like to order from there.
Chicken fingers are delicious. Oh, so crunchy. I had some last week. I was like, what a treat.
Could be any of the above.
What a treat.
I don't think he's doing any of those things.
Number 1.
Tell me the drug he's taking. I'll try it. Whatever sort of younger, handsome guy, HGH.
Maybe instead of fourth meal, go for a walk.
I feel like you're mocking me now. Avery Bradley is out of the NBA bubble. He's at least the third player we know, following Trevor Ariza and Davis Bertans. But Bradley, those two guys are on the Blazers and the Wizards. I mean, they're not going to win a title. Lakers are the favorite to win the title. Bradley started 44 games. He plays a lot of minutes. This is not a move you just brush it off and hey, we got J.R. Smith in the wings. Like I don't want J.R. Smith.
We got KCP stepping in the starting lineup.
Why is Bradley out? What's going on with his health or his health concerns with his son?
Yeah, we don't know much about him yet. But and you referenced earlier, we don't know who the players were from the Lakers who potentially tested positive, but he has a son who has respiratory issues. He's had several respiratory illnesses, and they take a long, long time for him to get over, which means he's most likely very, very susceptible to coronavirus and could have, real long-term ramifications on him. And most likely he wouldn't be cleared to come into the bubble, which happens after, I think, the first playoff round where the families can enter. So Avery Bradley would have to go, his family have to make decisions, either be away from him for a couple of months or, stay at home and him be there in the bubble by himself when everybody else has their families there. Or even the worst case scenario is Avery Bradley's there by himself. He picks something up on the way out and, passes it on to his son when he gets home. Those things are all not worth it. None of those things are worth it. He definitely should not be playing, and he has made the decision not to. Now, people are, many people are understanding, of course, and then other people are complete jerks. And, what are you doing? Why are you, what is wrong with you? You make too much money to do this. Fans, you're letting down the fans. Like, just stop. Stop it. It's his family.
But people will keep doing it. And the other players moving forward who cite health issues, family concerns, they're going to get the same amount of guff or the same sort of guff.
Yeah, they will. No matter what they do. I saw some players taking shots at Bertans, and he fired back on Twitter.
Did he?
He's like, might want to tag me next time.
Yeah.
Like, we have a debate.
It was Evan Fournier who did it.
Yeah, that's right.
Who is a solid player, but Evan Fournier is also like in the midst of a 5-year, $85 million deal, and he's kind of an average player.
Yeah.
But he threw out one of those like, kids these days, like, dude, you're 29. Let's stop shaking the fist at the sun, at the young guys.
And you have your long-term contract.
And more important than anything, can players, people hate baseball, right? They hate what happened in baseball. But what happened with the players as time went along? They stuck together.
Yeah.
And you see in the NBA how quickly they can become fractured. And everything's not done in the NBA yet. By the way, everything's not done in Florida and Disney, and they've got this crazy outbreak now of COVID. They have 70,000 employees. I don't know if they're all coming back, but when they reopen Disney World and Disneyland and, the tentative plan, they're targeting July 11th. Land could be different than World. There is a petition out there requesting that the parks don't open up.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, for something this big, the number's not that high, but there's about 8,500 people who have signed it. And I got to wonder what the employees at Disney World think. Like, you're kind of caught between, like, I got to get back to work. I want to make money, but is this going to be safe? And then, of course, if this cause explodes over the next week, what are players saying then? Like, your own employees don't believe it can be safe. We're going to go there to a bubble?
Yeah. And also as players, like, yes, I'm sure you want to play, you want to get your salary, you want to, potentially pursue a ring, all of those things. But there also could be the compassionate side of them. Like, dude, like these employees who, work so hard every day to make their paycheck are not comfortable with us. Like they think that we're putting them in some sort of unnecessary risk by doing this. Maybe we should reconsider.
I don't want to get this right. July 11th is Magic Kingdom in Orlando. And Animal Kingdom. And then July 15th, they're planning on trying to open up Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
I saw like a commercial yesterday. I didn't pay enough attention to exactly what it was, but it was a Disney commercial. Like, we're reopening, like, get on down here. And I was like, pass.
And then the NBA is there like basically 10 days after Epcot and Hollywood Studios open up.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
We're going to talk to one of the Lakers experts down at ESPN LA in about 10 minutes about the roster and other concerns around the Lakers, if they've been having these secret workouts, what's going on with LeBron's hair. That's always a hot topic. I saw him on Father's Day. Man, it's just trying to grow it out. And, I don't know. I'd like to give him advice, but he's losing to the front. I'm losing to the back. We're a mess, LeBron.
It's the Big 5 at 5, brought to you by Battle-Born Injury Lawyers. If you've been injured, call Justin Watkins at Battle-Born Injury Lawyers, 570-9000.